Okay, I know this is a tough subject, but I want you to listen closely. What we're about to go over is, without a doubt, the single most important part of building your legal defense. We're going to take something that causes a lot of anxiety and turn it into your greatest strength. This quote, it just hits you right in the gut, doesn't it? It's the whole frustrating paradox, right there. You are literally funding the very system that questions your right to even be here. And it feels incredibly unfair, because it is.
But that feeling, that unfairness, that's exactly what we're going to use. We're going to channel it into a powerful strategy. So the big question for us today is this: how do we take the money they require you to pay and forge it into an undeniable legal shield?
To do that, we have to start with the core of our strategy. You have to understand that in the eyes of the US government, you kind of exist on this split screen. It's like you're two different people at the exact same time.
So look at this. This is the fundamental conflict in their system that we can use. To immigration, you're considered an alien. But to the IRS, the agency that wants your money, you are suddenly a resident. For them, that's a contradiction. For us, that's our opening.
And let me be really clear about this. This is not some loophole we're trying to exploit. This is the letter of their own law. The IRS has something called the substantial presence test. It's right there in their own rulebook. And it says, flat out, that if you are physically here long enough, you are a resident for tax purposes, period. Your immigration status doesn't matter to them.
We have to be real about why this conflict even exists. I call it financial gaslighting. The system is actually designed to keep you productive enough to contribute, but precarious enough to not have any real security. They want your work, but they hold back your rights.
So here's how we fight back. Every single dollar you have ever paid in taxes has been recorded on what I call the shadow ledger. It's the government's own secret accounting of everything you've contributed. Our job is to drag that ledger out of the shadows and put it on the table as official evidence in a court of law.
I know that might sound a little abstract, so let me show you how this works in the real world. This isn't just a theory, it's a legal strategy that has won cases. Let's talk about one that perfectly shows the power of this shadow ledger.
20 years. I want you to just think about that number. For 2 decades, a man helped build the very skyscrapers that define this country's cities. Day in, day out, for 20 years.
And every single month for those 20 years, he paid his taxes using an ITIN. He did it faithfully, knowing he might never see a single penny of it in benefits. He did it because he believed in contributing to the society that he was physically helping to build.
And then the day he'd been waiting for, and probably dreading, for years, finally came. His whole future in this country was on the line, all in the hands of one judge.
So what did his lawyer present as evidence? This is the crucial part. He didn't bring in the man's construction tools or photos of the buildings. No. He brought in 2 decades of tax transcripts. Those official government documents were the undeniable proof of his long-term residency and his good moral character. He won his case.
That story is our model. It's not just a story, it's a playbook. And right now, we are going to start building your own. Let's walk through exactly how you can create this same powerful defense, step by step.
This right here is the Empowerment Playbook. It's our 5-step action plan. We're going to start with claiming your identity, which is all about creating that financial footprint. Then we build the paper shield by filing taxes every year. We'll show you how to activate the advocate, an ally you have inside the IRS. It's also really important to audit your debt. And finally, we'll keep our eyes on the 2026 shift in tax rules. Every step is designed to turn the tax code from something you're afraid of into the foundation of your legal case.
Okay, step 1 is the foundation for everything else, and it is non-negotiable. You must get an individual taxpayer identification number, an ITIN. Without it, you are financially invisible. The ITIN is your official way into the system we're about to use to our advantage.
Now here's another key resource from Step 3, the Taxpayer Advocate Service. This is an independent group inside the IRS. Their whole job is to help people with tax problems. If your money ever gets frozen, they are your internal ally. You need to know their name. All right, let's focus on the heart of this whole thing, which is Step 2 from our playbook, building your paper shield. This is where we completely change how you think about taxes. We stop seeing them as a burden and start seeing them as the raw material for your defense.
So, what is this shield made of? Every single tax return you file is another legal document. It's a timestamp that creates a clear history of your residency. It's evidence of your good moral character, and maybe most important, it's a government-stamped receipt that confirms you've contributed to this society.
When you do this, you completely change your position. You stop being just a worker, subject to the whims of the system. You become a stakeholder, an investor who has a documented claim and the receipts to prove it. By following this playbook, you are taking control. You are no longer a victim of the tax code. You understand how to use their own accounting system, the shadow ledger, to build your defense.
Look, this is a huge victory, and it's the bedrock of your legal case. But if we're talking about your long-term financial survival and success in this country, we have to be thorough. And taxes, they're only half the battle.
There's another invisible system at play, something I call a ghost score, and it determines whether you can get a loan or start a business or even own a home. It operates in the shadows, and it can crush your dreams even if you do everything right with your taxes. In our next session, we're going to expose it, and we're going to show you how to beat it.